welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is the Wondering Out Loud podcast, and it's a podcast for us to rediscover ourselves as friends, as individuals on this journey, self-journey, wellness, all of that.
You're Nicole.
I am Nicole, yeah.
I'm Billy. Nice to hear you.
What have you been doing
What have I been doing? Okay, listen, I've been heavy lifting.
this
I've
weekend?
been heavy lifting this last weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
2 small beings, 1 parent. You do the maths. That's all I gotta say.
It's a lot.
All I gotta say, bedtime. Finished. Your turn.
Oh, no. How long did it take yesterday?
Bro, bedtime yesterday was it's not even, I don't know. Because what is bedtime? Because if you wake up in the middle of the night, is it really a bedtime? Do you know what I mean?
Did you just
Was
have
it
a
a
nap?
nap? Yeah, exactly. Was it just a nap? Yeah, that's the catch up. It kind of leads to a bit of a wonder, but
What have I been doing?
yeah.
Well, just recently or just this last week, I did like an intensive swimming course.
Love.
Swimming has been one of those things where I don't really know why it's taken me so long to go back to it. I won't even really say like I'm fully back in it, but it was good to do the refresher course because in theory I know how to swim, like quote unquote, but my technique is just very poor and I don't have the confidence that I feel I should have in the water, considering how many times or how many water activities I do.
Right.
Like I went parasailing when we were in Jamaica, so that was cool. Maybe
Wondrous,
that's
one
my
might even
yeah,
say.
that was my wonder of the week.
Okay.
But we'll get back to that. But yeah, no, it was fun, but very tiring. And I think that is why I wanted to do swimming because I'm not very active. I don't like the gym. Even though I did a half marathon last year, I'm not a runner. This was my season for like running just to
Yeah.
do something,
What
and I
was it?
haven't
From
done it
0
at
to
all.
no, from couch to
I did catch the 5K and then I did the half marathon after. But yeah, I really haven't been active this year, and I feel it as I get closer to the birthdays. Yeah, definitely feel it in my body. My body still looks good, but internally I don't feel like I'm doing what I need to do.
Do you have like with the swimming, do you have a goal what you want to like, oh, I know I've achieved
The
this thing?
goal for that week, because it was only 4 sessions
Mm.
and they were like 45 minutes each, but it was just to kind of feel like I can just jump in the deep end
Yeah.
and go. And that was basically what we did. And then treading water. I tread water
Oh,
successfully for the first time. But like she made me do
bro,
it for like 20
why
seconds.
is it so hard to tread water?
Yeah. It's your I say it's the power in your legs. My legs definitely felt it. The end of last week, Saturday, it actually even still now. Yeah.
It just seems so
It's a workout.
counterintuitive to me, treading water. I don't know, something about it. I need to jump on that thing because I
Sometimes I
need to
feel
get it.
like it's mind over matter as well because you know how to swim.
Yeah.
And then there becomes like a block where you're like, oh no, I can't do this, and then that's when you
100%.
stop.
That's literally where I
I
am.
think that's literally what it was, and I've tried before. But anyway, the course was good. It was like really small classes. In my level, there was only one other girl, so we got like a lot of one-on-one time with the
Nice.
teacher, which is good. So yeah, I think I'll sign up for the 6-week course at the end of
Okay.
September. If I can get a space, and then hopefully, or at least between now and then, I do want to try and go to the pool myself.
I was going to ask, what's the follow up?
Yeah, that's what I need
What's
to
the
do.
accountability?
It's an important
Accountability on
life
that.
skill. I don't know. I've tried to get Dee to come with me. We
So
said
then at
actually
least you
maybe
know,
my birthday
or on the
because
day
I have the
itself.
day. Yeah, because I just have the day open. So
Yeah.
in the morning we'll do some swimming, and then I don't know what other activities will happen after
More
that.
water
Yeah,
activities.
go
Yeah.
on. So, but you had a wonder. You had a wondrous
My
week.
wonder, no, it's not that I had a
Or
wondrous week. My
okay.
wonder is, I think I'm playing on the word wonder now, is like in your body, we have the capacity to do a lot.
Yeah.
And that is quite a wondrous thing. I say that because I was doing the heavy lifting this weekend and will be. And it's like, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. I'm so tired. And I've got quite a few things on my list of things that I need to do. But somehow every morning I'm waking up and doing it and getting on with it. And I'm not like crushed. And I'm like tired for like the first 20 minutes, like, oh, I can't. And then I'm like, okay, I can.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just the capacity, the human capacity for getting shit done
Yeah.
is is my wonder of the week. Yeah,
That's nice.
thanks.
I love
What's
that
yours?
for you. Um, I think just trying new experiences. As I mentioned before that I did the parasailing, and I almost didn't.
Is it
Um,
parasailing or paragliding?
I've done paragliding before. Paragliding is more when you kind of jump off a cliff and then you're like flying. That was fun. And then the parasail,
Our producer's
it's
shaking her
like
head
hell to the
like,
no,
absolutely not.
to the no, no,
It's a
no.
no from me.
But the parasailing is when you're um coming off a boat basically, and then you have like the
Okay, yeah.
parachute
Yeah,
behind you
okay.
and stuff. So it was like, I guess the wonder in that, yes, it was a new activity. And I did it by myself, as in I was like up in the air by myself because my friends didn't want to come. But it was so like when you're up there, there was this period, I was maybe only in the air for like 2 minutes, like a minute and a half. And it's just so quiet. And
Mm.
all you can see is the sea. I think some people were able to see, is it like swordfish or
Inside
something
the
like that? They saw some sort of fish. And then you just have like the beach, and it's just the vastness of it. Obviously, when you're in a boat anyway, or when you're like far out in the ocean, you know that
yeah,
the world is just so much bigger than you.
huge.
But it was just weird how like how much noise there is when you're on the boat,
Wow.
because there's the motor and everything. And then like the further we got, maybe I got to like 20, 25 meters up, and it's just so quiet.
Mm.
It was really nice, but
I can
I
imagine it.
enjoy those sorts of quiet moments. So it was like, oh wow, like, and it's just a beautiful place. It was like such a contrast as well to Dream Weekend and all the drinking and the raving that
Right, yeah.
I'd been
The
doing for like the
peace.
5 days before. And
Mm.
it's like I'm so glad that I took that moment for myself.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, just had a great time. And then the rope started creaking a little bit, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm
Let's get
ready
back
to come
down.
down. Yeah, it's just the wind. There was nothing like dangerous about it, but yeah, no, that was cool.
I love that.
That's good.
So,
What are we
thank you for sharing. Let's get
discussing
into the meat
this
of the
week?
matter. We were wondering about regrets, but it's kind of like a
Mhm.
broad idea to discuss. Not so much regrets, not so much specifically regrets, but things that you might have done differently, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, how decisions that you've made have impacted directions of your life and what you would do differently. I was wondering with you, given that idea, the
Mhm.
things you might have done differently, are there points that if you look back and be like, oh, if I had done this particular thing differently, could be in this such and such a place? Like, and not
Mm.
necessarily a regret, unless it is a regret.
Yeah.
Um, are there any moments that you can, excuse me, are there any moments that you can point to,
Yeah.
like in hindsight?
Um, there's probably loads, but I think when I was thinking about this, it's like in general, I don't know what the turning point was, but I just think I stopped like romanticizing my life. And
Mm,
I think that was, I just had this energy before, or like just all these different ideas of like, okay, I want to travel here and then I want to have this sort of life. And like, I never wanted to be pinned down to a certain place. I always wanted a partner, but I also never really wanted to be pinned down to one person either.
right.
Um, and there was, yeah, I just had like this zest for like discovering new things, and it's definitely slowed down. But also there was just, I'm finding it really difficult to kind of dream again. I think I've said
Now,
this before. Yeah, like I'm just like I don't know what my hopes are
right.
for it, like, and without it sounding like really morbid, it's not like I just want to coast through life, but it just feels like such an effort to be like, okay, what is exciting? Like what excites me? What do I want to like continue pursuing? And I don't know when that shift happened, but something definitely happened, or maybe a series of things happened where I just was like, oh, what's the point? And I wish I didn't do that, or I wish I had more people around me that I could see living their best lives so I could just continue absorbing it. It might be maybe I moved back to London too soon, or just should have like come and then left immediately. I don't know what the structure is. That in itself can be a bit of a
Regret.
regret. But then I'm like, but
What?
do I
Which part
regret it?
of
It
the
made
regret?
sense at the
Sorry, the
time.
staying.
Yeah, because I guess the intention was never to stay this long, and then it's just like I don't know what the benefit has been, but it's really hard to say on the flip side, because I remember exactly what headspace I was in when I was like, "Okay, I'm moving back to London."
Yeah.
So it's yeah, you never know.
Yeah, and it's hard to I use the word regret very lightly and very or it's very much in a sense that I can't really point to anything that I regret because everything
Yeah.
is what it is kind of thing. Um, but more just as a pointer towards a thing that could have you can recognize could have been different.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's still doing the things that I love to do. So even in the last couple of years, um, like I have, so it's not like I do salsa dancing religiously.
Mhm.
Every time I go, I feel so much better.
Right.
Like I just feel great. It takes me back to the very first time that I learned salsa, and it's even if I capsulate that as a moment of like that version of me was so everything was just so exciting. And there was just so much that I wanted to try and that I wanted to do. And so that can be a refresher for me, or even like going back to swimming to be like, you should have done this 10 years ago. Like, I
Right.
don't know why it's taken for all the water activities I do when I'm on holiday. It's quite ridiculous that I'm like, oh, I'm not a strong swimmer
Right.
because you're always in the water. So there just became a disconnect between obviously things that I enjoyed doing and wanted to do, and then me actually following it following it through. And
Um,
it's I'm trying to do it now, but it's just like kind of like muscles and things that
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't use.
yeah.
It's just like it just takes that bit more effort where I just didn't even have to think about it before. Or like writing and journaling could be another one.
Do
I
it.
can't do it now.
How would you say, what are the ways in which you romanticized your life? Like, how would you, like, what did that actually look like? Because people talk about, oh, romanticize your life a lot, it's like a thing kind of thing, but like, can you recall
Um
the ways in which you was doing that?
I was just like, oh, I was just gonna live in so many different places, and I was gonna not no, living off grid is too extreme. That's definitely not what I was gonna do. But I just didn't see myself having like a corporate job or a 9 to 5. I had all of these like ideas that I wanted to write down, and like all of these people that I would meet, all these lovers that I would have, and they'd like impart some sort of knowledge on me.
Mhm.
Like it's very, and it's not to say that it can't happen and it hasn't happened for
No, but
people,
I
but
know
it was
exactly
a
what you're talking about.
very
It's
for
very I'm
just
25 years old
yeah, for a girl
and
from
life is feels anything
Southeast
feels possible.
London, like, what the hell? So, oh, I'm just gonna spend some time in Senegal. I never made it
Yep.
to Senegal, but like all of these different versions of myself, and I think even that when I was traveling, or like when I was living abroad, and I think we spoke in the last episode about these different versions of yourself. There were so many versions of myself that I loved, and I've just kind of lost
So it's
touch with those.
romanticizing a future self as
Hmm.
well as what you're doing, as well as
As
what you
well
was
as
doing at the
yeah, as
time at
well
the
as just
moment.
enjoying life at the time, it was also like, okay, and then what does like if I 10 years ago, if I was gonna say what would I probably even had a slightly romantic idea of what my life was gonna look like now at 37, 38. But going forward from this point, looking 10 years ahead, I don't think I have a I'm just trying to get
I see.
through every day. Do you know
Got
what I
it.
mean? I'm not sitting here being like, "Oh my gosh, I
Right.
want to do this and I want to do that." And it's not to say that I don't want to do things, but there's a difference in how I approach life,
Got it.
and it feels very much dictated by responsibilities, whereas before it wasn't. Naturally, I had less responsibilities, but there was always just a zest for I just want to do this thing,
Yeah,
and
got it.
I don't know
Totally.
how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get to this place, I'm going to see this thing. Whereas now it's like I still want to do it,
But let me
but
just I've just got
logistically
to
I have
yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
this, I have to
Wow.
pattern that, and it's yeah, it becomes burdensome.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Damn. That's when life comes at you quick.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think I've spoken about this before on numerous occasions. And just the decision to similar to you, you made a decision to come back to London. I have one where I have the decision to stay in Accra and like not go to
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else. Um and honestly, I feel like I might still be here now as I am now in this um iteration of my life here. But yeah, I feel like there's there's an experience that I didn't have that I might have had if had I made a different decision. But like you said, talking about the future thing, I still feel like I've got an adventure,
Mm,
another adventure in me, another place to live, another thing to well, more than one, but at least,
yeah.
some kind of other adventure in me. So I still have that romantic idea, as it were. But it's not even like idea. I will do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, definitely, I would say the staying in Accra because I've stayed longer than I had imagined that I would. And if I'd gone to Lagos or Dakar or
Mm,
Nairobi or somewhere else, then I think, yeah, it would have been interesting to see what that would have brought. Yeah, what kind of experience that would have brought, what connections that would have brought me to. Um, but yeah, generally, I'm pretty happy. Or even had I not, I mean, the biggest one, had I not left for Paris in my early 20s, that would be a completely different,
yeah.
definitely not, I mean, that was the best thing that I did. But yeah, just seeing how your life could have gone in different ways. Um, yeah, I guess with quote unquote regrets, if there's something that I can see like, oh, I could have done that, there's always the opportunity to try and do it.
Mm,
So you don't have to necessarily, I mean, some things are like irreversible. You've made a decision, you can't go back on them. Um, but how do you live in that decision then? And how do you let that decision inform what you
yeah.
then do?
Is that a question to me?
I mean,
God,
go for it.
that's a big
Mm.
question. I don't. I'm trying to think of like what would have been a learning curve for
Essentially, yeah.
me, but I can't think of anything right now.
Mm.
And it's been playing around in my head of like what have I learned or what was the biggest decision and how would I do that? But I don't know, babe.
Yeah,
I might have to come back to you.
that's all right. Circle back.
Yeah.
Text message. We got a message from our producer. Is there anything you were anxious or apprehensive to do, but realized it was okay once you committed to it? What was it, and what were the feelings that met you with the fear?
Um, I think living just moving away. Every time that I've moved away, there was probably an anxious feeling. I don't know if there was like fear as such. I'm trying to think. I'm also trying to think if there was a moment that fear has stopped me from doing things. Well,
Mm.
I know that fear has stopped me from doing a lot of things, but that is, I had a lot of apprehension, even like going back to college, like just going to a college that no one was going to apart from one person. And then but I did that because I was like, if I can't be on the other side of South London, how am I gonna be in Sheffield? Or like, because I already
Mm.
knew that I was gonna leave London for uni.
Oh, you
So
just
there were
reminded me
like
of something.
so many different decisions. And then even in being so far for uni, it was like, well, I'm doing this because I know I'm gonna spend a year abroad.
Right.
And if I can't manage this distance, how am I gonna manage the other side of the world? So I think those are those things. But then the more I did it, or I don't know, I'm almost again contradicting myself, but I'm almost like a feel the fear and do it anyway sort of person in some aspects. So when there's like an adventure or when I can immediately see the gain, or if it's not actually requiring too much of me emotionally, it's very easy for me to just kind of be like, yeah, I'm a bit scared, but I'm gonna do it. Um, but fear, what was the second part of the question? Sorry.
Second part of the question was
Oh, it was what was
how,
it?
what met you? What feelings?
Um,
What were the feelings that you met with fear?
I think I'm just always excited. And I think I'm a bit like me and Courtney joke about it, but I am a bit of a plot person. I do a lot of things. There's probably some very questionable decisions that I've made. I just kind of do it for the plot line. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
well,
do it for the
like,
story.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
like what am I going to
Do it for the
tell?
great grandkids.
Yeah, before it was for the great grandkids, but
Yeah,
I might not have kids of my own. So for like for my great nieces and nephews and stuff like that, like what someone has to live, someone has to do
hundred
it. Do
percent,
you know what I mean? And
100%.
without putting myself in danger,
You need to have a couple of ex-husbands.
100%. As I said, my lovers.
Yeah, yeah.
The not having kids was a big, I don't even know if it was a big decision. It feels more of a big decision because it is a talking point. quite often. And naturally, like, people are intrigued because even though a lot of people don't have children, it still feels like you're doing something that's against the norm.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like, because I spent a lot of time going back and forth of, do I want to freeze my eggs? And that was more guided by fear of, like, I really don't want to get to a stage where I regret this, because I've always felt more confident than not. Like, I've always been kind of at 18, 90% sure that I'm on the right path for me at the moment.
Mhm.
But then you just never know. Kind of like me coming back to London at the time that I did, I loved it. And then now it's like nearly 10 years later, and I'm like, oh, this decision, I don't know if I would make it again. So I didn't want to have that with children.
Yeah.
But then kind of reading into the process, that was more scary. Go through that process, and then what is it? Success rate at the end, which isn't really that high. That was more scary than just kind of letting nature take its
Right.
course and see what the universe has in store. But yeah, it's scary, and but it's also a beautiful thing as well, because the more new parents I see, the more I'm kind of satisfied with this as a thing. Like, I'm become more and more sure that I've made the right decision for me.
Mhm.
And then I think there will always be a what if, probably, but I think I'm always going to be like, I think that's one of the decisions that I'm going to regret the least, which is weird to say, because we
To
don't know
not
what the
have
future.
kids.
Well, yeah, to not have had kids up to this point.
Right,
I
right,
don't
right.
think I've actively avoided having kids. Like,
Right.
I haven't. Luckily, I haven't had to do anything to change that course. But yeah, I think not seeking it and not being led by that
Right.
as how
As a
I kind of
driving
move
thing. Yeah.
through life. I'm glad that I kind of took that off my plate. But it's a big one.
Let's just think, because I think I've got to throw that question back to myself now. Um, actually, I realize it's okay to do it. I don't, is this any, I think probably yes. But like you, I'm a if you don't hear, you must feel kind of person. So like I'm very much like, yeah, I've got to experience it for like I've got to feel it on my body myself. I've got to experience it for myself. Um, I suppose I went back to uni to do a master's a few years ago, and there was some anxiety. There was some anxiety there. I
Mm,
wasn't anxious. I wouldn't say it was an anxious period, but there was some nerves
yeah.
and some sort of like, oh, this is a new thing, and I'm about to take on this new thing. And there was some nerves there, but yeah, I just threw myself into it and really had a good time doing it. Um, Again, really tested myself to see where I could go. And actually thinking about regrets, sorry, just going a bit thing.
Yeah.
Regrets, if I may say, and not necessarily regrets, but something I could imagine could be different is like you spoke about your uni process, your at college, being very intentional with your college and then intentional with your uni and year abroad and stuff. I feel like I just kind of fell into so much of there's so much I've kind of fell into.
Mm.
I didn't really consider too much about the college I went to. I didn't um for uni as well. I don't think I led myself that much on that as I could have. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like who was supposed to give me that information to we spoke about the other day when we was at lunch. I think it was the other day at lunch. Yeah, we were talking about like, oh, how some people already knew that if you're going to Oxford, you have to apply by such and such a date.
Yeah.
All them kind of things. I'm like, I haven't. None of this information was really. I didn't have any of this information. I don't know where I was supposed to get the information from, but kind of just fell into things. I honestly can't remember making. Like, I made the decision to go to that sixth form. I made the decision to go to that uni, but I don't remember feeling like bowled over, like
Yeah.
so drawn by any of those things. It kind of just like, okay, the biggest one I can remember was the fact that I left my first uni when I left Brunel to go City. That was a decision that I consciously, like I could say, I consciously made that decision
Yeah.
because I consciously wanted to do X, Y, Z. But before that, it's just like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, just going
But
with the
that's
flow.
also like,
But I was, 17 or
yeah,
whatever. I don't
that's what
know.
you're supposed to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah,
Because my driving force really was that I know that I'm gonna leave London and I'm gonna travel.
yeah.
That
All of those. I didn't
that
even
was
have an
it.
idea of all of these things
That
that
was the
much.
only thing that I've. That's probably the only thing I knew about my life from when I was like 7 or 10 or
Wow.
something. That's what I was gonna do, and I pivoted with my course choice at
Mm.
uni because I was supposed to do French and English literature. And sometimes, if we're talking about regret, I'm like, I should probably maybe should have stayed on that course. But then I would have to remove my whole experience in Cuba and
And
stuff like that, and I
you
can't.
can't do
I'm not
that.
going to do that. But there is a lot of in just maybe that's more like career focused
Right,
or
right,
whatever.
right.
Where I'm like, actually, again, I probably could still do this exact same thing that I'm doing now, but there's parts of that study that I miss. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
really just that, like, I'm gonna get away from these people. Like the
Not
end
these
of
people.
school was like a bit shaky. I was like, let me remove myself, and ultimately I'm gonna travel, so I need to learn how
Get
to
into that
make
vibe.
new friends intentionally.
No, it's good. I love that for you. I wish
Yeah.
that's something I
But that's
would have
not something
appreciated
that
for
I
myself.
still have now. That's what I mean. It's like I had that before and I don't always move
Harness
like that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
Do you have a question for me?
Yes, I do. My question is, how do you honor your younger self?
Wait. I've got a picture of myself on my screensaver, and every day
You
I
look so
see
much
it.
like your daughter. Yeah.
Very much, yeah.
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 Twins.
Twinsies. Yeah, especially that face. And every day I feel like, yeah, I just remember her every day. But I just don't know what was she on? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it's just like I wish I could remember more about her. Maybe I just need to listen more or see how I feel more in certain situations. Like
Yeah.
even when you're playing with kids and doing things like what catches you, and that's
Mm.
probably her like, oh, this is it, this is fun. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um So yeah, I think having recently, like in the last year or something, changed my screensaver to this picture. I just tried to be like, okay, she's still there. Give her a hug, talk to her every so often. I'm just like, hey, I know you're in there. I hope you're well. Love you. I've got you. Hug. I've been giving myself hugs recently, and they feel quite nice. I'm not like a okay. Let me quickly just do it like you lean into it. It's like oh, it feels nice because I get hugs from
People.
people. Um, But it's to take the time to recognize yourself and give love to yourself. I don't get to do so many things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, this one's just for me. But if you just take a moment and be like, oh, okay, it's nice. So I've been doing that for my inner child. And I would love to find more ways to do that. A friend of mine, I don't know if we spoke about this before, but a friend of mine recently started doing tennis playing tennis
Hmm.
like weekly, no, a few times a week, not even weekly, a few times a week. And that's like her inner child thing. Like she always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
She's now doing it. She's loving it, like loving it off. Um, so yeah, I don't necessarily have an activity that I can speak to, but maybe that's the swimming thing. Um, yeah, yeah. I can't remember too much what she liked.
Yeah.
Some things I used to like writing, which I still do. And there's some things that I do still do. I still writing stories, poems and
Yeah.
things. I do still do them. Um, Yeah, I need to look for her more basically and show love. But yeah, definitely it was an intentional thing to put the screensaver on the phone and be like, okay, you know what? She's there. Look at her, talk to her. What would she be feeling? How do you want to connect with her?
Yeah.
I think I saw something online the other day and they said, imagine yourselves, they gave an example of yourself at a dinner table with different ages of yourself, like your child self,
Mm.
yourself before XYZ happened, kind of thing, and the conversations you're having with each of those people. And it was a good activity. I'll see if I can bring it up at some point, maybe for another occasion. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was a good activity to just talk to yourself at different stages in your life. Um, and I remember I did the exercise once or twice. I was like, oh no, this is they're there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
You
yeah,
just
yeah,
have to
yeah,
access them.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, if I ever find it, maybe
Yeah.
we can
There's
bring
some
it up
like
for another
key
occasion.
that I'll speak to myself at like 10, 15,
Exactly.
25, probably.
Exactly.
Um, but for me, do I honor I'm trying to be better at it. Like the the other day, again at the South Bank when Phoenix was like living her best life. and there was at the water fountains because she just went straight in. She arrived, she was ready to go, and then Pharaoh also like saw the water, backed off shirt, pants, ready to
They
get in.
love
Yeah, Pharaoh
to
doesn't
back
actually like
off
the water, so he's a joker.
their
But
clothes.
But Phoenix was just straight in there, and I was just watching her with like admiration of like, oh my, like it, I, even when I want to do something, it can take. I might need a lot of pushing to do those sort of like childlike things,
Yeah,
and eventually I was like, no, Nicole, this is ridiculous. So I was like, Phoenix, can you? I was like, I'm a little bit scared. Can you like take me into the fountain? So she did, like naturally like the leader that she is. She's like,
yeah,
okay, we just have, okay, we're gonna wait for it to go down, then we'll walk in, and then we can decide what direction we go in. And I was only in there for like, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds or something. But I was like, I was glad that I did that. It was like very minimal. I didn't get wet at all. But I was like, I'm glad that I forced myself to
to
do
do
that
it.
because it's such an insignificant thing. But everyone else was just having so much fun, and all the other
Yeah,
adults were there as well. So I was like, I can do this too. So these are the, yeah, I think I need to be more childish sometimes. I
yeah,
think there's
yeah.
like a playful side that I just don't access a lot. And Diesel's getting on to me of like, what's it? What is it? You need to suspend like belief or reality sometimes. Like this is like when we're
To write
watching
that
something
down.
silly on TV and I'm like, but why are they doing that? It might be anime or something. I'm like, but I don't really
No,
understand
but
this thing.
that what he said is right.
It's true, and
Yeah,
I need to do it, and it kind of probably goes back to why I find writing so difficult, and like even reading, because I really, if I'm reading like fiction and stuff, but I just find it so hard to switch off
logical.
yeah, it's and so yeah, that's how I'm trying to honor my younger self
Is it?
more.
Are you thinking that people are watching you and like judging
It's
or?
almost like I just don't have time for it. I feel like I've been very much put into this have to be responsible. I have to be the person that shows up. I have to do this. I have to think. Then I'm like overthinking so many things like, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough money for when I retire, whenever the hell
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is?
okay.
Am I even going to, well, am I going to have another job? Am I going to get another contract? There's always so many things that I'm thinking about seriously. But actually, when I'm dancing as well, I remember like that was the one activity of all the activities we did as kids. Um, Dancing was the one extracurricular activity that I was never allowed to do. So whenever I do actually get an opportunity to dance, I've mentioned like the salsa before. I think just hangover from my older sister had done all of these dancing lessons and then I think just quit and my mum was like, I'm not spending my money on that again. It was literally nothing to do with me. It was just kind of a nah, we're not doing
Been there,
that.
done that.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to do anything else. So I did kickboxing, we did ice skating, we did swimming. I don't think she'll regret it. I've mentioned it to her many, many times. I was like, Mum, I really wanted to join this dance group and you wouldn't let me. She's like, oh, I don't even remember that. I was like, I've definitely mentioned it like 2, 3 times, or like what seemed like a long time for a kid. But yeah.
Do you think the fact that you did extracurricular activities is part? I'm just thinking about how you had the intention of leaving London, doing this, going here.
hmm
Do you think that you had extracurricular activities and opened outside of school activities made you have a wider understanding, wider sense of the world and like what you could do, what was achievable? Do you think that contributed?
Yeah, definitely. Because I was always speaking to people outside of like my
Yeah,
immediate, or I had like
yeah.
my French group. I had these people that I did ice skating with. I had these people that I did swimming with. And then we did like theatre as well and even like after school club. So
Wow, you were really
we were really active. No,
yeah,
we did a lot of stuff. And so yeah, it did naturally, I guess, feed into that. And that's probably the piece that I lost. I think we've spoken before about community. And in losing my community, whatever that looked like, around kind of like my mid to late 20s when everyone is naturally shifting in life, I can see for me personally a direct correlation between not having community in that way and not experiencing new things and then this kind of shift, like
low.
everything I was like experiencing was kind of the same. I was always around the same kind of people and it definitely does affect you for sure.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's making me think about like how, sorry, just going back to the regrets and or whatever the decisions made for the like how I would kind of sort of going with the flow. I didn't do I did extracurricular activities that were linked to school. but not
Mm.
outside of school. So I wonder, like, if I had more of those, if I would have my sights set on something um just different from the way that I kind of went with the flow kind of thing with my school decisions and university decisions and stuff. It just occurred to me um in that. But yeah, thanks for the chat.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wanna wrap us up?
Let's wrap it up. There's no regrets though. Hashtag no regrets.
No, not really.
No, because everything is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and you can have those other versions of yourself living their life somewhere in some.
Yeah, there were many parallel universe versions
There you
of
go.
me. Yeah. Salute to
Um,
them all.
what? I mean, we're near the end of summer. She says, wistfully looking outside.
On a grey London afternoon.
um, any adventures planned for the next week or so?
Um, no, carnival doesn't really count as an adventure. Carnival might see me this year. I'm not sure. Looks like it might rain.
It could
So
be an
that's
adventure.
it could be, and
Romanticize your life,
we
babe.
might take Phoenix. I wanna if Courtney does take Phoenix, then I would like to join. I would love to see Phoenix experience that space for the first time. So that's on the agenda
Okay,
for this
cool.
weekend.
On my part, getting through the week is going to be an adventure. Definitely going to be an adventure.
Yes, they're gonna keep
So,
you on your toes.
going to keep me on my toes, and I will push my capacity. I've got quite a few things. I've got a list down of things. I've got quite a few things to do. So let's see how far we can get through them. I was talking to a friend that came to visit. She's visiting like the UK from LA, and she was like, "Oh, having kids is kind of like how did she describe it? Yeah, you know, like those game shows or like yeah, you've got those game shows where you've got a limited amount of time to do a certain number of things,
Yeah.
like in the game show, like even like a super. She didn't say supermarket sweep here, but I'm now thinking
Yeah.
about supermarket sweep.
Yeah,
You got
yeah,
to go
yeah.
in and get everything. She says like, yeah, it occurs to me that like how many things I've got a list of all these things that I've got to do today. How many of them can I actually get done with the time? So yeah, let's see what happens this week.
For real.
Let's see.
Cool.
But yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening,
Lovely to be
guys.
here.
This was Wondering Out Loud, and we will see you next time.